Hello, Michael Stack here with AMAX. Now, one of the biggest misconceptions that employers have about workers' compensation insurance is the feeling that it's just a cost of doing business and there's nothing you can do to change it. Well, that couldn't be farther from the truth. Work comp insurance is actually the line of insurance that you can have the most influence on what you're paying by properly managing it with high integrity at your organization. So today I'm going to review the top 3 ways an employer can control their work comp costs. The number 1 way is safety. Now, the best claim and the least expensive claim is a claim that never actually happens. And if you're watching this video at work now, I bet you want to go home safely. I bet you want to go home safely to your loved ones. Your employees want to do that too. And I want to tell you about some statistics in regards to safety, and this is caught on pretty well, but it doesn't mean that we should take our eye off the ball. The Department of Labor has done some studies, and they show a 4 to 6 to 1 return on investment from safety programs. This is all about making sure, again, that these claims never happen. So how are you going to do this? How are you going to get this return and make sure employees return home safely? I want you to identify the hazards. This is a job safety analysis. You identify the hazards of each position. Where can these things go wrong? Where are these employees going to get hurt? Doing what different things within their jobs throughout their day? What is the highest likelihood that they're going to get hurt? Most injuries don't always come from unsafe conditions. Most come from unsafe acts by the employees. So give you an example here. So say I'm working for you in the line. I'm on your manufacturing floor. We've got some big production goals this month. We have heavy production goals. I'm getting hammered by the supervisor. You got to go faster. We got to do things better. We got to really crank up our production this month. Maybe I had a mess up last month that I didn't hit my goal, so I don't want to do that again. Now, with all this pressure, I know that I can go faster if I take the guard off. If I take the guard off that machine, I know that I can go faster. I'm definitely going to hit my goals. That's an unsafe act. And the way that you promote that you create a culture where that's unacceptable. You let me know that that is an unacceptable act for me to do because you have this culture of safety. And my safety is more important than those production goals. So you need to have that culture of safety, and that's how you ensure your employees are getting home to work safely and that your claims are never actually even happening in the first place. So let's look at number 2. Number 2 is return to work. Now, we've written about this extensively on our blog. Many studies have been published about it, about the effectiveness and cost containment for return to work programs. But here's the goal. The goal of a best-in-class is a minimum of 90% of your employees either stay at work or return to work in 0 to 4 days. Here's what I'll tell you from what I see. Most employers have some sort of return to work program. Most employers say, yep, we've got a return to work program. We're all set. Don't worry about us. The vast majority of employers, vast majority of employers are not hitting this goal. So you may have a return to work program at your organization, but you're not hitting this goal of 90% of your employees either staying at work or returning to work within 0 to 4 days. And here's how you do that. You need to have a commitment to this. You need to have a commitment to this goal that you're going to work with your medical providers to understand those restrictions and put the employees back in a space where they're productive. They're productive for themselves and they're productive for your organization. And you do that with creativity. If you have a commitment to your return to work program and you're creative in the transitional and modified jobs that you're producing, the employees are going to be happier because they're going to be productive. And your corporation, your company, is going to be more successful because your employees are being productive. So that's number 2, return to work. And the final one here is equally important, is medical management. So we often forget that these are injuries, and we need medical professionals. We need that expertise and that knowledge, that specialized knowledge, in order for us to recover from these injuries. So you need to bring those in. So under this medical management, I'm also going to put the treating physician relationships. You cannot be successful without this relationship, without this medical provider, this treating physician who's ever going to be treating that employee. The vast majority of employees, you can't be successful without this relationship, because you need to understand how these employees can get back to work in a productive position where they're going to perform that safely. So what are those medical restrictions? How can you get them back to work where they can safely perform those jobs productively for themselves and for your company? So this treating physician relationship is hugely important, because that feeds right into return to work. I'm going to give you a couple of other tips here that are going to help with this. So part of your injury response procedure is your employees at the time of injury immediately call a triage nurse, or if you have a large enough site, you have an on-site clinic, in order to be able to evaluate those injuries right away. Most claims, if you come to me as the supervisor, I'm not going to be able to tell you what to do. Either I'm going to say, oh my gosh, you better go to the emergency room and it's just a paper cut, or I'm going to tell you, you're a tough guy, just go back to work, and it's really a significant back injury. I don't have that medical expertise, but a trained nurse does have that expertise. So getting that employee to the right level of care. The other statistic here that I'm going to tell you is 30 to 40% are home treatment that never actually become claims. So you're eliminating claims right off the bat. Number 2, nurse case management. So again, that medical expertise is hugely important. A nurse case manager is going to be interactive with this claim, interactive with the employee who's injured, and interactive with the adjuster, bringing that medical expertise to that claim, either telephonically or, again, in the field, working with them, going to the appointments, giving that advice or recommendations for how that treatment is going. And the last one I'm going to put here is reviews. So again, you're going to have physicians that are treating. Maybe you've got a relationship with them, and maybe you don't, depending on how you set this up, or your state, if you can direct or not direct care. So maybe you're going to want to bring in a utilization review or a peer review, bring that expertise in to say, is that treatment really appropriate? Is that surgery really necessary? Maybe there's some alternatives we can look at. So having those reviews. Also, I'm going to fall under this reviews umbrella, a pharmacy benefits management relationship, where you can bring in that pharmacy expertise to ensure that maybe you're not accidentally creating an opioid addict by giving them more, or the physician is prescribing more than that person really can handle. Those are the top 3 ways to control your work comp costs. Obviously, there's a significant amount more, but if you can get some of these 3 in place, you'll be starting off in the right direction and having that mindset that work comp insurance is not just a cost of doing business. It's something you can be actively involved, implement a high integrity program that can be successful. So remember, your success in workers' comp is based on your integrity. So be great.